Let's begin with a thought experiment. Imagine this. You're born with a remarkable gift. Not just talent, but unbelievable talent. You do well without even trying. Too well, in fact. Everything seems to fall into place for you effortlessly. It's as if the universe has decided you are its favorite child. You are a star among your peers. You're the one others look to for leadership, the one people admire without fully understanding why. Your parents think you're destined for greatness, because, well, you've never failed at anything. You're convinced that this, success, is simply your natural state. You even begin to believe that failure is something that happens to other people. People with less charm, less wit, less ability than you. You've always had the Midas touch. You've never been wrong. You never lose. You think, nothing can stop me. I can do anything. And then, one day, it happens. The world shifts. Something catastrophic occurs, and suddenly, you're helpless. You can't use your usual tricks to solve it. You can't outthink it, outmaneuver it, or outluck it. You're standing there, powerless, watching as everything you've worked for begins to crumble, piece by piece. This failure is bigger than any you've faced before. It isn't something you can just breeze through. The control you've always had, the invincibility you once felt, vanishes in an instant. It's a crushing realization. You have no answers. The worst part? You never saw it coming. You, who've always been able to weather every storm, suddenly feel like you're drowning. And just like that, the sky feels as though it's falling, and you can't find a way out. You, who've always been the one with all the answers, now stand frozen in a place where nothing feels certain. And in that moment, you realize, you can fail. Let me say this plainly. Failure is not some random disaster that comes out of nowhere to ruin your life. It's an essential part of the process. If you've never failed, how could you know what success even means? How could you avoid failure if you've never experienced it? Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the process of success. Without it, you're just cruising along, never really understanding the true nature of victory. Failures are, quite simply, case studies. They're your training ground for life's hard lessons. They give you the experience and the wisdom to solve problems. They show you what doesn't work, sometimes in the most painful way. And that's fine, because pain is the best teacher. It's the catalyst that makes you stop and think, what went wrong? It's also crucial to understand that failure helps you develop skills that go beyond your natural talents. We all have something we're good at. But no matter how gifted you are, there will come a time when your talent isn't enough. When you're backed into a corner, when your luck has run out, when the tricks no longer work. And that's where failure teaches you to reach beyond your natural talents, to develop new ways of thinking, new strategies, new skills. It's the one thing that can make you limitless, because once you've learned how to fail, you learn how to rise again. The key to all of this is how you handle failure. Do you learn from it? Do you embrace it and figure out how to adjust? Or do you wallow in self-pity and excuses? How you react to failure will determine how successful you will be. The lessons you take from failure shape how you will approach success in the future. Study your failures honestly. The truth can be uncomfortable, but it's the only way forward. No excuses. Be brutally honest about what went wrong, and, equally important, about what went right. Study your successes with the same critical eye. Success is never a fluke, no matter how it might seem. It's the result of a series of small, calculated steps, and a healthy understanding of failure. And when you take an honest look at both failure and success, you'll find that they're more connected than you think. Now, let's talk about how you actually win big after failure. This is where the strategy comes in. If you want to truly succeed, you need to get comfortable with the idea of planned failure. Now, I know what you're thinking. Planned failure? Is that a contradiction? Let me clarify. You see, planned failure is not about setting yourself up to fail for the sake of it. It's about strategically creating environments or scenarios where failure is a possibility, but also one that you can recover from. Failure, when planned properly, acts as a process of elimination. It's a way to test what works and what doesn't, with the knowledge that even if something goes wrong, you can get back on your feet and try again. The trick is to make sure that the failures you plan are not devastating, catastrophic failures. You want to fail in a way that minimizes the damage and gives you the opportunity to learn without taking you out of the game entirely. This isn't about aiming for total destruction, but about refining your strategy and developing resilience. The truth is, failure is a great way to accelerate success, but only if it's done in small, manageable doses. And then, there's the unpredictable failure, the ones that come out of nowhere. You didn't plan for it, and yet, it knocks you flat. But here's the thing, you can still use these failures to your advantage. When things fail in ways you didn't expect, the lessons are often the most profound. You don't have the luxury of excuses. You don't have the time to explain why it happened. But you do have the chance to learn, adapt, and adjust. And that, my friends, is where the real growth happens. You take those unplanned failures, and you turn them into fuel for future success. But remember, whether your failures are planned or not, the most important thing is this: you never let failure define you. You let it teach you, guide you, and sharpen you. You use it to grow, not to sink. Let me leave you with this. Failure is not the end of the road, it's the beginning of something better. It's an opportunity, not a punishment. It's a lesson that can propel you to greater heights if you approach it with the right mindset. If you're smart enough to embrace failure, and bold enough to learn from it, you will succeed. Big. Now, I want to ask you, what's your greatest failure? The one that made you question everything? The one that made you feel like it was all over? And here's the more important question. Did it break you? Or did it make you better? Because let me tell you something. Those moments, those failures, are the very things that will lead you to your greatest success. The choice is yours. So, share with me, I'm genuinely interested. What's the most profound failure that taught you the most, and how did it ultimately lead to your success?